Hello and welcome to One-on-One. Thank you for taking this time to allow Veronica and I to be in your homes and whatever venue you're catching us on. And we now have a YouTube channel, and if you get the opportunity, you can't catch us on Dish or network, you're welcome to pull up YouTube and like us and subscribe. We appreciate you taking the time and allowing us to share the good news of the gospel through this awesome technology that God has created and allowed us to use for His glory.
It's amazing, isn't it? The technology from when we began until where we are now, and we're so blessed for Christian Television Network and airing on their cable networks and Dish and Direct, and we're reaching millions of people going into 114 nations around the world. But now we understand YouTube channels that you start scrolling and we're like, it's a different venue altogether. So it's really exciting that we have the YouTube channel, and very soon we're going to have podcasts, and our daughter Alyssa Cross is going to be over that, called The Inner Circle. And we're so just amazed at how God is. We were talking last week about stretching and breaking out and expanding our borders. Change is coming, and we have to change with it. So that is exciting, buddy.
Today we're going to talk about being surrounded by God. Realizing that our Creator surrounds us. That's why we're able to do all the things He's allowing us to do, because we're surrounded by His goodness.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we've had to do some funerals of late. And I remember the last one we were at, they were talking about how they left this world surrounded by their friends and family, and that just painted such a beautiful picture of peace and comfort in a difficult time. And it made me think about, people have surrounded me at times when I've been vulnerable and when I've had troubles in my life that I couldn't really be in a position to participate at the level I would want to, and they were there to shore me up and to help pull me through. And it's wonderful when you have people that you feel that comfort, and you feel that you're surrounded by a group who's got your best interests at heart.
It is.
And in Psalm 125 is where we're going to go to today, and Psalm 124. So just stay with us on both. But the psalm reads, "Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds His people from this time forth and forever. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous reach out their hands of iniquity, or to iniquity. Do good, O Lord, to those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. For such, turn aside their crooked ways. The Lord shall lead them away with the workers of iniquity." The first part of this paints this beautiful picture of Jerusalem, and it's surrounded by mountains, by Mount Olives, the Mount Moriah, and Mount Zion. And we've been there, and we've looked at those mountains, and it's really a vantage point for the Israelites. They can see anybody that's coming into town, so to speak. And it gave them a great deal of security to be surrounded by those mountains, because it's an arduous journey to bring an army or someone up those mountains and into that valley. And they would have the vantage point of the high ground where they were. So God says that He surrounds His people from this time forth and forever. And that's the real crutch of what we want to share with you today, is that even though we can't see it, even though sometimes we don't feel it, even when we do feel insecure or vulnerable, that we've got to reach back to allow God to be the Lord of our lives. Now we're going to come back to that, but we're going to jump over to Psalm 124 and share that with you.
In Psalm 124, it said, "If it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, let Israel now say, if it had not been for the Lord on our side, then we would have been swallowed up alive. Then their wrath was kindled against us. Then the waters would have overwhelmed us. The stream would have gone over our soul. Then the swollen waters would have gone over our soul. Blessed be the Lord, who has not given us prey to their teeth. Our soul has escaped as a bird from the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we have escaped. Our Lord is his name. Our help is in the Lord, who made heaven and the earth. Wow. When you are surrounded by God, when the waters come, when the troubles come, when the floods come, he is there. I'm reminded of that song from Michael W. Smith. Yes. It may feel like I am surrounded, but Lord, I am surrounded by you. It's just a chorus over and over again, but it's so very powerful. And if you can envision, you feel like you are being surrounded on every side. Even in Isaiah, he tells us when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord will raise up a standard against him. Many of us recently have been through floods, and we understand the flood comes in from every side, torrents of water, so violent that it can even move cars and houses down rivers. So we understand that when we feel like we are surrounded by this evil, that God is the one who is actually surrounding us. He is the one who is protecting us. He is the one who's raising that standard, that banner of victory over us, saying, no matter what you're going through, you are going to have victory. I am with you, because it said if it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, but the great thing is he's on every side. He's not going to allow us to be destroyed. He loves us. He surrounds us. He protects us. And even at the very end of the verse in Psalms 125 that we'll go back to, it says, peace be upon Israel. When you know that you are surrounded by the protection of God, that he is covering you, he is your Jehovah Nissi, that gives you peace to know that he is there. No matter where you are, no matter what you're going through today, he is there. He's surrounding you. He's your cushion. He's your buffer. When you think that it's all coming in, pressing on every side, he is there for protection. And buddy, it gives us peace to know that he surrounds us with his love, his comfort, his guidance, his wisdom, his direction. He surrounds us with that every day. Yes. And that is like we're in a bubble, that he protects us. And it's so good that we have that benefit with being his child.
You know, we're not that smart and we're not that clever that we can find a way through all of these things
That's a lot.
Just spoke about. You know, with that, nowhere in there does it say that I did this or I made this happen. It says that if it had not been for the Lord on our side, or to borrow back from Psalm 125, if we are all surrounded by God. Mm-hmm. You know, none of this is possible without the Lord. You know, right now the Israelites still struggle for their existence. They do. And God says he's not going to stay his hand from them. Right. As long as, and that's where we're going to leap into now, is that there are some conditions to being surrounded by God and enjoying that security. And some of that falls heavily upon us. And we've seen this through history time and time again, is when God's people, we can enjoy all these beautiful luxuries that he gives us, all of this beautiful security that we have, as long as we don't mess it up. Yeah. You know, we have a tendency in our flesh to mess things up. And in Psalm 125, it tells us here that the land is allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous reach out their hands to iniquity. What's that telling you? Hey,
don't sin.
I'm going to do my own thing.
Don't do it.
It's been fun, God, but I'm going to leave you for just a little while. And that is so true. We get all of a sudden all excited about being all of that in a bag of chips. We feel like we've run the railroad, and hey, look, I've driven the train too, and I know how to keep it on the tracks, and I sure know how to get it off the tracks. And you know, once you get it off the tracks, it's a real struggle to get it back on the tracks, to get it righted, to get everything right again and running again and working the way it should be again. There's a lot of work to that. And you don't really have to ever run that off the tracks if you would just allow God to be the continual Lord of your life. And you just stay focused on Him and realize that we have that benefit, that beauty of God saying He will always be there with us unless we decide to run away. And then God's still there. He hasn't changed. He hasn't recanted any of His promises. All He's done is allowed you with your own moral will to change direction without Him, to lose His hand. You know, when we were kids and our parents, I mean, I was always reaching out for Alyssa and Lauren Rose's hands when we were out in public or going somewhere, because I wanted to know they were with us. They weren't in any danger, that, you know, they were close by. They weren't going to run out into the traffic or somebody else snatch them up and run off with them. You know, I wanted to know, I had that security knowing when I could touch them and feel them that they were okay. They were going to be fine. And it's the same way with the Lord. You know, if we don't reach out to the world and allow the world to pull us in a different direction, when we let go of God's unchanging hand, I mean, that is a beautiful picture I always have in my head, is God's unchanging hand. You know, His love for us is constant. It's forever. He will never leave us. He will never forsake us. He takes great joy in surrounding us with that security of knowing that we're a blood-bought, born-again child of God, and holding on to us if we'll just hold on to Him. But yeah, I've let go as well and get out in the world, and the world can swallow you up. And the Israelites, I mean, there are example after example after example in the Old Testament where they got away from the Lord and catastrophe fell upon the Israelites. They were in slavery, bondage, captured, tortured. They were almost annihilated. And finally, you know, even when they were released from Egypt and the Lord made a way for them and parted the Red Sea, did so many, like it's saying, so many of these things, the victories that happened, all God orchestrated every one of that. Every single thing that the Israelites and Buddy McGlothlin and Veronica McGlothlin and whoever's hearing my voice out there, the things that you have enjoyed in life, God has had a hand in doing that. And the closer you stay to Him, the truer you stay to His Word and His promises, and the more you promote the things of God and praise God for them. I mean, what a beautiful thing to have a Father that loves us enough that He will never leave us, never forsake us, never ever. I mean, that's a long time. And I don't want to lose that. I don't want to be the child. I've been that child that thought the world was going to make it happen for me and I could manipulate everything and anything to make it all work. And in the end, I was falling on my face. And thank goodness when I finally did find a place to get on my knees, it was before God. It wasn't before a jail sentence. It wasn't before someone who was willing to take my life or someone who was going to lead me into some type of bondage I couldn't get out of. But no, God was there to rescue me. And I know that some people are listening to me now and you've been close to God and you've drifted away. I was close to God as a young man, but drifted away. And you get caught up in it. You think there's no way around it, that nobody can understand you but the people you're hanging out with. And you're wrong. That's not true. There is a whole group of people who love the Lord, and the Lord Himself, understands you. He knows you. He knows every single hair on your head. And all you have to do is just stop what you're doing, stop, just fall on your knees, bow your head, and with your heart and with your mouth, just say, God, forgive me of my sins, for I know that I'm a sinner. I know you died on the cross for my sins, and you were buried, and you arose again on the third day. Forgive me, Lord. Make me new. Clean my heart up. That's all you have to do. If you mean that, hey, you're surrounded by God. Now, we've got to clean some things up. Like I said, when you run that old train off the track, it takes a little bit of effort to get it back on the rails and to get it running right again. But commit yourself to that. And God will bless you. And you will enjoy the true blessings of the Lord. The victories are His, but you get to be a part of that. You get to celebrate it. You get to enjoy it. You get the euphoria of being on the winning team, and for allowing God to see Him do beautiful things through Him into lives and changing the world through that. You can be a life changer too if you will just grab hold of that vision and allow the world to be pushed in a distance. Hey, we've all got to intermingle with things that are going on out there, but we can be a light in that world instead of a part of the darkness of that world.
It is, and that's God's heart for us. As you were speaking, I was brought to that place where Jesus was on Mount Olives, and He knew that He was going to be crucified, and He stood there on that mount, and He was weeping over Jerusalem. And He said, "Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, if only you would have allowed me to gather you together as a hen would gather her chicks." And what does that mean, buddy? Under that protection, under His wings. He's like, that's been my heart for you. I love you. But you would not. And because they didn't accept that protection, because they didn't want Him, because they rejected Him, then there was ultimate destruction in Jerusalem. And when we see that story, when Jesus is standing there saying, "Please, let me surround you. Let me love you." He wanted it so desperately that He wept. He wept over a people, over Jerusalem. I wonder how many times He still does that with us today. Oh, if you would just only allow me. He's not forceful. He's not going to come in and force Himself. He wants us to come to Him so that He could gently wrap His arms around us and love us and surround us. There are benefits with being surrounded by His love. Those benefits are healing. Those benefits are peace. Those benefits are protection. Those benefits are feeling loved by the Creator of the universe. Oh, that He would just wrap us in His arms of love. That is His heart's desire for us today. And in Psalms 125, as we revisit that, it says, those who trust in the Lord, you put your trust in Him. Trust means, hey, I think that you know what you're doing, so I'm going to trust you. I may not understand. I may not understand what I'm going through. I may not understand the heartache. I may not understand why I'm in this situation. But Lord, I'm just going to trust you because you love me, and you're going to surround me. And you're going to surround my mind. You're going to surround my mind that seems to be so barraged by the enemy. The enemy's constantly coming at us, attacking our minds with fear, anxiety, depression. But that's when we turn it to the Lord and we say, God, cover my mind by your blood and by your thoughts. That's one of the helmet of salvation that we put that on. It tells us in Ephesians 6 that helmet just surrounds our minds and our thought lives. And that's where this all begins. To say, God, I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to allow you to surround my mind, surround my heart, surround my family, surround me. I want to be under your covering. Buddy, there's no better place to be than to be under the covering of Jesus.
You know, Veronica, we all lose sight of the fact that the Lord knows what is out there and the draw that's out there. And you know, the word says the scepter of wickedness shall not rest. Shall never rest. But he goes on to say then, yes, for such as turn aside, they shall be led away with the world, the workers of iniquity. Yeah. So he's saying, hey, if that's the route you want to go, I'm sorry, you know, we know how that ends. We all understand exactly how that ends. And I would much rather be in the shadows of those beautiful mountains and feel that security and that love rather than wandering around. And I have done that wandering, and I can tell you, it is a lonely place.
There's no peace in it.
There is none.
None. No peace. The calls that we receive, buddy, and the letters that we receive, people are asking for peace.
Yes.
I need the peace of God. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I need help. And that's when we say Jesus is standing there with his arms wide open. And he's saying, come unto me. That's what Jesus said, come unto me. All that you are weary and heavy laden. We can run into his arms and we can feel surrounded by his presence. There's no better place to be than to be in the presence of God, especially when you're searching, when you're hurting, when you need the peace of God, when your mind is in chaos. We receive those letters and emails as well. Mentally, I'm fatigued. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. You just allow him to surround you. And that's a comforting thing when we read this that says, those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. When you trust in God, you're not moved. You're not moved when things come at you. You're not moved by the lies of the devil. You're not moved by reports of the enemy or doctors' reports. You're not moved. You have the peace. As this verse says, peace be upon Israel. That's what God wants to give us, his peace.
Yes. So the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forever. If you're his, he's surrounding you today, whatever the circumstances are. Just remember that and embrace that. Well, we love you, and God loves you. Until we see you again next week, remember that God is always faithful.
Don't think it's strange, says God, what I am doing among you. Do not think it's strange that I am coming and I am visiting you once again, for I am preparing you and forging you in the hottest of fires so that you will be able to stand on the front lines and you will not break. I am depending on you in this end time. I am depending on you, my remnant, for I am coming with all power and glory and honor. I will split the eastern sky. Soon, I am coming soon, and I am preparing you to see my glory. Think it not strange that I am visiting you once again. Think it not strange. You want me? You want more of me? Then take of me, says God. Take of me. Everything that I have is yours. Everything that I have is yours. Receive, receive, receive in the healing rain. Receive, receive, receive in the healing rain. Let it rain. Open the floodgates of heaven. Let it rain. Open the floodgates. Axel, can I just have the piano, the keys? I want the healing rain. For surely heaven has come to earth. This night, heaven has come to earth to show you glorious signs and wonders and miracles. I rain them down on you this night. Is there anything impossible for me to do? Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible.
Hey, it's always great to get to come to you and thank you for the many years you've supported this ministry through your prayers, through your financial support, just through loving us through this time. And we just thank you that you open your homes up, that we can bring the good news of the gospel every week. And we just count it an honor to do that.
We are truly humbled to receive your praise reports of salvation and healing, and we are so excited to usher in this great end-day harvest with you, great harvest of souls. Just know the very best is yet to come.
We hope this program has enlightened and enriched your life. This ministry is made possible by the grace of God and your generous financial support. If you would like to partner with our ministry to spread the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ, write, call, or visit our website at www.buddyandveronica.com. We look forward to visiting with you again soon. Until then, remember, God is always faithful.